Hey there, Ashley.
Hi, Misty.
How are you today?
I'm doing well. How's it going over there?
Pretty good, hanging in there. So this is Ashley with Stewart Title. So thanks for participating, coming out to play today, even though we're at home.
We're still playing virtually.
Yeah, exactly. So I wanted to talk with you a little bit about, so first of all, tell me a little bit about you and, where you're from.
So I am born and raised Orlando. I went to the same schools as my parents. I have sisters, three sisters. We're all locally in the area. I graduated from UCF and I started with Stewart Title a couple years back and went into this crazy world of real estate that we're in, and just opened an office about a year ago on Delaney. So just sticking around the area and helping agents grow their business.
Awesome. So we're Florida girls. Yay. So, they're just curious about, the real estate market and title, and just, kind of give people some information about what does title mean in a real estate transaction and where you come in. Florida is, it's customary that the seller gets to choose the title, but it is something that is negotiable. And sometimes if it's advantageous and it works out, then sometimes, the buyer might actually take over the title side of that. So just tell us a little bit about, what you do in the title world.
So basically, title is, you can look at it as a way to protect yourself. So when you're going to purchase a property, you want to make sure that there's no liens, there's no open permits. You want to make sure you're not walking into someone else's problems. So where title comes in, we, do the background check on the home and make sure everything comes back free and clear, and you're buying it from the people who are legally able to sell the home, and just make sure all the pieces line up. So from contract to close, your title company does all the research, pulls up all the old dirt, and basically gives you reassurance and title insurance that you're coming into a property that doesn't have any baggage and that's rightfully yours at the end of the transaction. And it's typically driven by the seller, but as we know, everything can be negotiated through the deal. And so we see things a couple different ways, but predominantly it's a seller's choice. And we do some incentives too with either anybody who's in like the service industry, education, first responders, church employees. We try to, show them a little love back, and we actually give them $125 off their settlement fee as a little appreciation, a little love back.
That's nice. That's nice. Sharing with the community there, or with our first responders and people that certainly do service for us. That's nice.
Yep.
So
they serve for the country too, so they could be past
veterans and things.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
That's nice to know. So yeah, you are very instrumental in getting, like you said, contract to close, making sure that the buyer is getting a marketable property, a property that has clear title, and the seller has a marketable property, which is huge. All kinds of things can come up along the way, and sometimes you just don't know what's going on, and a lot of times something pops up on a property. It's almost kind of like your credit score. Right. Something will pop up on your credit that you don't know about that isn't yours. And that same thing can kind of happen in title sometimes. Mm-hmm. And so you just have to, that's the title company is just doing their due diligence on that. So great information.
And we even see, a property where the title company prior to didn't do their job, and now we're, cleaning up a mess that should have been cleaned up the last time. But it's one of the benefits of going with Stewart. We're in 90 countries. We've been in business for almost 130 years. So there's something to be said about finding a company who has been around, who does a good job, and who is going to make sure you're taken care of.
Right, and that's huge. So what have you seen? How's business been? We're doing business in a pandemic, and things might loosen up a little bit, but it is going to be a little bit of the norm going forward. So I know that starting the beginning of this year, I know that there are some things that have come into the market for title that, people, it might be, that it's certainly going to help people in going forward and being able to do real estate and having some social distancing. So talk to us a little bit about that.
So at Stewart, what we've done is actually January 1st, we rolled it out prior to this whole pandemic. We're doing remote online notary.
That's
so what
huge.
It's great. So what that looks like for a seller is that they can go through and sign everything online. You basically have to have a computer. You have to have your license still, and it's kind of like we're doing right now, but we're going through and notarizing all the forms so the seller doesn't have to come in and sign anything. And it's also great just for, pandemic or not, if you're busy and you have a busy schedule, and you might want to do that at 7 o'clock at night when you get off work and you can't take off, and with everybody's lives being so busy, sometimes there's no other ways around it. So we can do that. We're also offering, which we've done in the past, but people are using the service more now, mobile notary. So some of my personal clients, I'll go and sign them and wear the mask, wear the gloves, come with fresh pens, wipe down everything, just to make sure that anybody who is in that category where they might be more likely to catch corona or anything, they're taken care of and they feel secure. Now on the buyer side, it looks a little bit different. So if you have a loan, there are documents that you have to sign. So you can go through and sign everything that can be done online, which limits your time at the closing table. So you may come in and just need to be in there for 10 or 15 minutes, and you've already seen all the documents, which it's nice because any questions that might have come up or hiccups on either side, you've already previewed it and we've already got that out of the way. You come in and sign and you're in and out in 15 minutes. So it breaks down that too. And we're asking right now for the agents to not join us for the closings, the loan officers to not join us, just to keep it, as low risk as possible. And we're running on appointments only and a smaller in-office staff.
Right. Yeah, I know the property that I just recently closed with you guys. I represented the seller, and they did choose to come in, but they didn't have to be there very long. But I know that the buyer side, they were really appreciative of that because the wife is pregnant. So I know that everything was a big concern for them. So they were very happy with the way you guys are doing things. So, one of the things I'm seeing and talking to people is, especially like, if you're not in the real estate industry and people thinking that, wondering what's going to happen to the real estate market and thinking that real estate's come to a halt. And I know that you and I don't really see that. And, things have slowed down a little bit, but what on your end, how are you seeing business this day, the volume of business?
So, starting at the beginning of the year, everybody's, best. Refis were rolling in like hotcakes because interest rates are down. So, more people are buying, more people are refining, and, going from that 30-year to that 15-year loan. So that was all going, fast paced forward. And then, starting the beginning of March when all this, pandemic, Corona came about, we did notice a little bit of a slowdown in some of the residential sales. We stayed really refi heavy. Some investors who were in the middle of, working some deals out, they kind of wanted to hold off and want to wait to see the direction, which is going to happen in any uncertainty in any market. And then, the first 4 weeks, 5 weeks, we still had contracts moving in. We had a few things canceled just out of, a couple people who got laid off jobs and couldn't go through with the purchase side, or a couple people who just wanted to hold off a couple more months. But the refis continue to happen. They continue to come in because people are still getting better rates than they got a few years ago. And then now this week, I feel like ever since we started talking about the reopening and, the president gave us the okay to kind of go state by state, I have noticed a huge jump in residential purchases. So all of a sudden it was like we were going slowly along and seeing stuff trickle in. And now the last few days, it's been like the floodgates opened. They heard the words, we were going to slowly reopen, and now people are moving through with business. But you know what? We're so lucky to live in Florida, because if you got to be quarantined somewhere, like, why not be in the sunshine? Not today, but a lot of the times, you know, we have great weather here, and I feel like people are going to start, you know, wanting to get out of the north and come here even more after this, because can you imagine being locked in and it being cold outside and you can't even go take a bike ride, walk around the lake? I mean, we're so lucky that we live in a market where we have nice weather year round. People want to be here. It's desirable. When all this happened, we weren't in a housing crisis. This is not due to the housing market blowing up on us.
Exactly.
So I heard a really good analogy. It's kind of like a healthy person, when they get sick, they're down for a couple days and they're able to recover and get back going a little bit faster than someone who is unhealthy and who has other health issues. And so you might get the flu for 5 days and someone else might recover in 10 days or 3 days. And really, that's what we're kind of seeing. The housing market's been great. We've all been, you know, constantly seeing an increase, and housing prices driving up a little bit each year. So we're going to come out of this the same way. We were in a healthy housing market, and we're going to continue to be, because one, we're in Florida, and two, this isn't a housing crisis. So I'm just encouraging people like, hey, we got to all still keep moving forward. And now everything I've been saying for the past 5 weeks is coming true this week. So I don't have a crystal ball or anything. I just believe some of the things I've read and the economists that I've listened to. And I think that in the next couple months, we're going to continue to see it, how things have been the last year or two.
Yeah, absolutely. I think people are, you know, we're in our busy season, and we were getting to a point where, you know, with the economy so good and the housing market this summer or the spring was going to be really, really busy. We're kind of on pause now. And like you said, you know, we're in Florida, a destination state. People want to get out and do stuff. And you know, some people may be kind of holding off on some things, but when we get ready to open, I think that, you know, the market's really going to flow back pretty quickly for sure. So, well, thank you for sharing all of that and giving some insight to Stewart Title and what you guys have been doing over there to help along in the pandemic. And sounds like you guys were kind of prepared for this, you know, kind of ahead of the game. So that's been helpful for you for sure, I know. But well, thank you so much for all that you do. And
thank you, and I appreciate you and your insight too, and all your years of knowledge.
I appreciate that. I certainly love what I do, and you know, can't wait to get back out in the community, because you and I do a lot of stuff in the community with local businesses, and we're normally out and about going around and visiting people and stuff like that. So you know, I've been kind of trying to do that in the Jeep and giving a shout out to places that are doing takeout and stuff like that, and just, you know, trying to make light of it and have fun, you know, however we can. So
keep our local favorites rolling, and we'll plan our eating excursion as soon as this is lifted and we can actually go sit down in the restaurant.
Exactly, I know. Well, awesome. Thank you so much for chatting today, and you take care, stay safe, and chat with you soon.
Have a great day.
Thanks, you too. All right, bye-bye.
Bye.